Hey, this is Captain Jeff and Argo Ambassador Dave Rowe. You're here with Argo Live Q&A. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have been pretty busy with boat shows the last 3 or 4 weeks. In fact, I'm not even home yet. I'm spending some time in Lake Tahoe. Had a couple of feet of snow coming down today, so I'm locked in trying to get my head around boating because, well, like many of you out there, you're not boating either. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be warm weather before we know it. But it's unless you're in Florida, it's not here yet. And we were in Florida a couple of weeks ago for the St. Pete Boat Show, and there was no warm weather down there.
That's true. It was chilly. I think it's better there now. It's actually I'm in North Carolina right now, and I am on my boat. And right now it's 63 degrees, and it has dropped 5 degrees in the last hour. So we made 68 today. Not bad.
For those of you that maybe have not joined us in the past, Dave is a full-time cruiser. He has done the Great Loop. He knows everything about boating. So whether you've got questions tonight about Argo or just boating in general, he's your guy. He is full of information. So I'm happy to have him on board. We crossed paths a couple years ago up in the Chesapeake Bay. He was cruising around, and I think it was a good find for both of us. He's enjoying working with me, improving the app, and I enjoy having his input and feedback to create a better app. So
having a ball.
So boat shows, like I said, we're at St. Pete. We also spent 9 days at the Seattle Boat Show, our second year. Longest show I think there is out there. But we were not only manning a booth, but we had a number of seminars that Dave and I were speaking at. We've sort of got into a couple of them that we're doing at a number of boat shows. One Dave takes, and that's tips from a cruiser, whether it's doing the loop.
I'm going to stop you, Jeff, because I think your audio fell out there for a minute. So you were talking about how we did boat shows, and you disappeared for like 30 seconds. It could have been on my end, but I don't know what you're talking about now.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I guess I was saying we were at St. Pete, but also spent 9 days at the Seattle Boat Show, not only manning a booth, but we did a couple of, we have 3 seminars that we've been doing at a number of boat shows. For Dave, cruising tips from a cruiser, whether it's doing the Great Loop or just cruising in general. We've also had one that we've done for a number of years now, and that is apps, or rather chart plotters, apps, or both. And really that talks about where the technology is going. Should you be using a chart plotter, a boating app, what boating app, and where are things going? So any questions you might have regarding that, happy to answer them tonight or anytime. And then I also had one I did down at St. Pete, navigating using apps, and obviously talking about Argo, but we know a lot about navigating and how you do that using a navigation app. But the big news tonight, and I'll talk a little bit about that, hopefully we get some questions on that, is our release, which occurred this morning. It had started a week ago, but very few people actually had gotten it. But this morning we released 2.0. It was our biggest update in 5 years, but that went out on both stores to everyone. You aren't yet getting like the update notification on your phone, but if it is something that you want and you'd like to check it out, you can just go to your, whether it's the App Store or Google Play, and update your app. I see some questions coming in, and that's great. As we're talking, please add comments to the feed, and we'd be happy to get to them in just a little bit, or we can take a few now, and then I can talk a little bit about 2.0 and what we included in that update, because it was a big update, one we've been working on for 3 or 4 months.
Absolutely. Well, we had a couple of hellos. I'll skip past, but I'm just going to say hi to both Stacy and Liberty Trawler, I should say. And let's get to William's question here. Are waypoints also? Jeff, I think you've frozen up.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dave, I thought you froze up. But,
yes, they absolutely are, as a matter of fact. Oh, well, one of Is it me or is it you?
I see you going in and out. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
One of us is I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Well, apologize for those of
Let's
you
answer the
that joined
question.
in. Maybe some of those that are listening, you can tell us which one of us is struggling. Dave is freezing. I think it's you, Dave.
It could be. It could be. I'm out here
Well, let me try
in
and
North
answer the
Carolina on the
question.
Kelly Lake.
I think I know what the question here is. Are waypoints coming to the website? I think what they're referring to there is our web app. The web app, yes, they are coming to the web app. In fact, if you go out there now, you'll see we have done a few things. Actually got released sooner than I expected. If you're creating a route on your mobile app and you add waypoints, you'll now see them in the captain's log on the web app. You can also start to create a route with waypoints, but it's really not working as it should, not as it does on the mobile app. Give us about a week and that will be fleshed out, completed so that, they are very much the same in terms of the web app and the mobile app. But you can see we've started to implement the same thing on the web app. So yes, it's coming.
Outstanding. And let's see here. Jonathan Lewis, new lifetime subscriber, here to support us. Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, we did have a campaign through the holidays with a great lifetime deal, $100, $99.99 it was for a lifetime. That deal unfortunately has wrapped up, but we haven't stopped offering lifetime. If you are currently a annual subscriber, when your renewal comes up, you'll get an opportunity to jump on a lifetime deal. And we're talking about maybe putting it as a permanent option, on our site.
I think that'd be cool. Let's see here. Mark is asking, he says, haven't looked at it yet, but did we include the update to the ability to change font size for the depth?
No, we have not, but it's on the list, the to-do list for our developers. It's not too far from the top. So I think, you'll see that soon. We've got a lot we've been working on, particularly trying to get this release out, but that is planned. So if you're using the standard view, satellite view, you find that the depth numbers are small and difficult to read as you zoom in and out. We plan to provide users an option to adjust that a little bit.
Fantastic. And that's what we have for the moment. I see in, wait. Oh, he's just.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, what else do we have in 2.0 here in the big
let's talk
release?
about 2.0. Obviously, the big discussion has been adding waypoints to your auto routing. And you can do that in a couple different ways, either setting a start point and a destination and then adding waypoints to adjust the route. But you can also set a start point, tap the plus button, and then just begin adding waypoints, very similar to how you might do a manual route, but it'll be creating an auto route from point to point. So you can try the two different ways of creating that. While we improve the auto routing, we also improve the manual routing. So, if that's something you like to do, is to create a very specific manual route custom to where you want to, how you want it to route. The process of doing that is very similar to the auto routing. So once you learn how to do one, it's the same, but it's a big improvement over what we had before in terms of being able to edit. You have the ability to drag and drop, adjust, reverse the waypoints that you've added. So check that out. I mean, if you have any questions on how that works, we'd be happy to answer. But it's, Dave and I feel it's been working really well. We demoed it at the Seattle show for 9 days straight, and for the most part, it went really well.
Another question.
Yeah, NEMA and AIS. Yeah, it's Dave's favorite topic. obviously our goal this year was to get 2.0 out, get Waypoints in, and I'll talk about our next goals. Our next goal is to get more tide and current stations. When we were in Seattle, not surprisingly, we heard all about tides and currents. We have maybe 300 live stations that are out there for the U.S. We plan to put 1,000 more predictive stations, currents, tide stations, U.S. and Canada. So that's a big priority for us and shouldn't take long. But after that, two major things. One is improve the ability to download an offline chart. Right now, it's possible, but very small areas. We need to change that, and we will. And then third, as mentioned here, we want to integrate the app into the NEMA network of your boat, access AIS, and other things, the chart plotter, wind, weather, whatever types of information you're collecting on your NEMA network. So is it coming this year? I'm hoping it's coming before the boating season really kicks off, in the north. So April is my goal. If it slips to May, it will, but the plan is to have it for you guys late spring, early summer.
We have Willem asking if we have a roadmap for routing to prefer shipping channels as opposed to relying only on depth.
Good. Another good question. Dave and I actually spent a lot of time looking at that when we were at the Seattle show. Amazingly, there's only one app out there that really does a good job of handling the shipping channels, and Navionics is not one of them. I think it's very easy for us to do. So that is something we hope to do in the next month or so that it doesn't travel down the shipping channel. It will stay to the right side. If you have to cross over, it'll do it at 90-degree angle, maybe giving you a heads up to look out.
He's asking to stay in the channels here, which
well, I just answered a whole different question.
You did.
Stay in the shipping channels.
Yeah, staying in the channels. I mean, there are two kinds of channels. There are the channels that are in shallow waterways, and you definitely want to be in them because if you go outside the green or the red, you could be traversing the mud. And then there are actual shipping lanes. And if you're in a recreational vessel less than 65 feet, you probably shouldn't be in the shipping channels anyway. You should be traveling just outside of them. There's generally enough depth for most recreational vessels just outside the shipping lanes. And when you do cross shipping lanes, you should do so at 90-degree angles, which is what Jeff was just referring to. I think at some point we're going to try to make a way for Argo to prefer staying in the channel in most channel type situations, but we are also going to be looking at how Argo deals with shipping lanes in major ports, especially VTS ports. So that's ports that use vessel traffic services, where the commercial traffic can be running very rapidly and can be very dangerous to be in the lanes with them. So we're looking at all those things.
Yeah, we have developed some channels that and some paths where you stay in the channel, but there's certainly a lot of them that right now it will base the path just on depth. If you increase your buffer, it will increase the likelihood it'll stay in those channels inside the lateral buoys and markers there. But that's our goal, is to increase more and more channels to where you can stay in them, but that's going to take time. We do have some ideas which would allow us to do it quicker, and we're going to be working on that. And then you'll see an option in the app that'll stay in channels, and then it'll do that for you. So I don't think that's something that's going to be a 2026 feature. I think we will be able to get that this year, certainly better than what we have right now.
Right. He went on to point out. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff.
No.
He went on to point out that he's on Lake St. Clair and the Detroit River. And so, yeah, in those areas, we will definitely be looking to get you to, I'm talking more like New York City and the Savannah River, or up in Seattle where, there are huge shipping lanes. So, yeah, we're working on that for you. All right. So we were talking 2.0.
All right, 2.0. One thing, and we'll be focusing on it probably in the next couple of weeks. Actually, we gave those viewers last month a quick snapshot of it, but we've made some changes to the captain's log, and we're going to continue to make more changes, making it easier to edit routes, tracks, voyages, things like that. But we added a map view. So you're not just seeing a listing of all your trips now. You can actually, there's a map icon, and you can view all the items in your captain's log, both in a preview map as well as a listing. And how you use that, we'll be talking about that more in the future, but that is something we recently added as part of 2.0. We've also added a lot of things to kind of customize your chart. As you know, as a premium user, you can adjust the color or the depth shading up to 9 different depths. And that could cause problems in terms of seeing a track or a route or your heading line. So you can now go into navigation settings and adjust the colors, not just the track that we've had in there now, default is white, and you can change it. But you can now change the heading line color, and you can also change the green portion of the route. A lot of times people looking at a green route on top of a blue chart, and for them it's very difficult to see it. So you can go in now and adjust that color to customize it however you want it, really.
Yeah, it's looking good.
One other thing that we've heard from a lot of people, I mean, searching for marinas, anchorages, things like that, it's a very strong feature. But if you don't have a lot of reviews on those places, it's not as helpful. So we've been working with some partners to bring in more and more reviews, and we're going to be incentivizing our own users to add more reviews. But if you do a search right now, you not only get the places in the search results, but you do get some indication if there are any reviews and what the rating is. So I think that'll help. If you're searching for a certain marina, a certain anchorage, you'll know which ones have reviews from fellow Argo users.
Right on. We got another question here. Are folks still using paper charts along with the app? Jonathan does. Well, it depends on where you are, certainly. I know a lot of places, well, even Canada at this point, the last holdout of paper charts has stopped printing them. So I think we're going to be seeing less and less of that. But I'm certain people are still using paper charts in addition to Argo. They make excellent companions on the chart table. For me, I use multiple apps, but
I'm sure there's people still out there that feel comfortable having a hard copy chart with them. So that's not going to go away. It's the challenge, I guess, is going to be getting them. But there are some companies out there still publishing RNC charts.
Absolutely.
One of the other things you'll notice, and this was something Dave has been harping on for a few months now, is he wanted to be able to zoom out and still see the channel markers from a higher zoom level. We have improved it, so you can zoom out. You'll see them a little bit better than you could before. If you zoom all the way in, you will start to see, actually for the lateral markers, you'll start to see the numbers. So it's a second thing we added recently.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping we get more of that, but it's really good. I mean, the reason I needed it was because this is my iPad. I mean, this is bigger than my head, so it was nice, very nice. What else do we have in the 2.0 release, the big one here, Jeff?
Well, like I said, the captain's log is something we're going to be continuing to work on. And one aspect of the captain's log is take voyage. And you use that when you've created a route at home, you've saved it to the captain's log, you get down to your marina, the boat ramp, and you're ready to use one of those routes. You open that route up and you tap take voyage. It was working okay, but we've improved that. I think it's working better. And offline capabilities across the board should be working better. When you're out and whether you're getting to the marina, you've got no internet, you can now start the app, you can start a track, you can save the track. So there's still more we can do to improve offline capability, particularly downloading of the offline charts. But I think you'll find if you lose connectivity when you're using Argo, it will work a whole lot better than it did before. It was viewed by many as more of a planning app because you really need internet or Starlink, but I think it works pretty well now, both online and offline.
Fantastic. And we're going to be improving the offline a lot over the next year, right?
Well, we will always be doing that because we want the app. We are proud of the fact that it is a very good planning app, but we want it to be a solid and trusted backup for you when you're out on the water, or as Dave uses it, a trusted navigation source, at the helm. So in order for that to happen, you really have to rely on it, whether you're online or offline. Not everybody has Starlink or good connectivity when you're out in the water. So we want it to be a solid app without the internet.
Absolutely. And I think we should point out we have a bunch of people watching right now. And if we haven't said it before, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, etc., feel free to just drop them in the comments. And we're happy to entertain them here while we have the time. I don't think we're going to stretch this session on a long time, but we're here to talk. So.
Argo or boating, we will answer any questions. I haven't heard it tonight, but I have heard it from a few that have emailed me. With the migration and the work we did on 2.0, apparently there was a bug where the importing of a Navionics route was as no longer working. We have figured out what happened. We fixed it, and that'll be in the next release. So you'll be able to import routes from another chart plotter. If you're importing points, and I don't know if you've tried that, importing waypoints really from another chart plotter, fishing spots, things like that. One gentleman indicated that wasn't working for him. We're looking into that, but and we'll be improving that feature as well. But that's something you can do within my pins. So not within the captain's log. That's for just routes and tracks. If you want to import waypoints, that happens under my pins.
All right. Well, Seattle was fun, Jeff. I don't know if I thanked you for that trip. We had a good time cruising around the town on land and off. Stacy and I actually got aboard the floating boat show and got to see what the new boats look like. So there's some astonishing stuff coming. Oh, Nima has. All right, we have a question here. I'm interrupting myself. Kurt is asking, how will NEMA connect via wire or wireless? Okay, wireless. I'm thinking, right? We're gonna be generally wireless. You will have what's called a NEMA gateway, and I might actually have. You know what? I've got something fun here.
Dave's got one on his boat.
Not only do I have one on my boat, this is, I have only one of these. This is the new PW 2.0, Jeff, that I'm going to be testing.
Predictive Wind, he says PW. Predictive Wind has what they call a data hub, and Dave's pretty impressed with it, but I guess they have a newer version of it that he's showing off right there.
Yep. So I'm going to be getting this thing set up real soon. That might improve my internet connection here on the boat too.
So how does this get to your NEMA network?
All right. So the antenna here is for Wi-Fi, and it has a built-in Wi-Fi transmitter or transceiver, I should say. And it also back here has 4 Ethernet ports, 2 of which are for wide area network, so internet connection. So you could have a couple of different sources of internet, and it has 2 LAN ports to connect to printers or other Ethernet devices, computers, and it has an N2K port right here to connect to your N2K network to get your NEMA data between your chart plotter or whatever and your Wi-Fi. So essentially, this is Wi-Fi or Ethernet to your devices.
So
So
that's
a gateway.
That's an N2K port on the back. You just plug that into
right
your.
there.
Okay. You just have a drop cable from your N2K network, and you plug it right in.
Exactly. And this one also has a cellular modem in it. So I'm excited to try that out and see if I can use this basically as the only device on the boat. So it's interesting.
And I'll say, of course, there are other NEMA gateways that you can get from Yacht Device and a few other companies, but you need that interface between NEMA and Wi-Fi.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, you still there? Okay.
Yep.
This one right here, this little guy is a NEMA to Ethernet gateway. So you can see that's quite small. It just uses the NEMA bus power to operate. So if you have an existing Wi-Fi network on the boat that has Ethernet ports, this is all you need, and you can connect between Argo and your NEMA network very soon.
Yeah, and of course, that's what you have to do on your end. On our end, we need to get the app Argo to see that and then allow you to connect to it. That's what we're going to be working on.
Exactly. And we have another question from Bernie. How do I access places I have marked as favorites?
Good question. Yeah, I answered that not too long ago. And the short answer is you really can't, unfortunately, but that's going to change. We're going to be enhancing the section called My Pins, and you will be able to filter your pins, just those that you favorited within My Pins. So that's something we're working on. Are you now? Of course, that has to do with pins that you've dropped. If you're looking at places that you've and well, I think that's all going to be in iPins. I'm stepping back here a little bit. You can favorite both a public place like a marina. You can also have fishing spots or private places that you can favorite. So within My Pins, you'll be able to access and see all of them much more easily than you can today. And that's something we're going to be working on as well. I guess one other thing I'll mention that's coming very soon, I'm pretty excited about it. We do have a boat safety section, a boat safety and education section. We're adding more links to that section. I think it's going to be a valuable resource, particularly those that are new to boating, to find places for boat courses and things like that. I think our next release will have an updated boat safety and education section. So that's something hope to talk more about in the future.
All right.
We still got a couple months before I view boating season really kicking off, although we are focusing on Florida and hoping the app 2.0 works well for them while we continue to add more and more features.
Exactly. And for those worried about bridges, I'm still working on bridges and locks. So we're getting all those in. Or at least getting them all updated so that the bridge height will work with your routing a little better. And we're getting more points of interest on the West Coast, I think, coming in real soon too, right, Jeff?
Yep.
So. Yeah,
we being out there at the Seattle show, we have a lot of new fans, very excited about what we're doing. One particular, Martin Efkin, he has a Let's Go channel surfing YouTube channel and website, and he is super excited not only about what the app does from a navigational standpoint, but also social standpoint. So if you want to check him out, again, it's Let's Go Channel Surfing. He's going to be talking about Argo in the future.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, we are out of questions. I think we've pretty much beat up what's in 2.0. It's a huge release. Drag and drop editing and captain's log updates and waypoints. I it feels like our February broadcast is just about a wrap.
Yeah, we were excited. Developers were excited to get it out. We know there may be still a few bugs out there. If you find them, let us know. We'll try and get them addressed as soon as possible. But hey, thanks for everybody joining us tonight. And until next month, happy boating.
Thanks, everyone.